Shaman King, everything you need to know about it right here in this video. Lying a little bit, just a tiny bit though, because I already did the unit video. So if you want to see that card popping up on your screen right now to break down all the units. But in this video, we gonna have everything from the event to the gacha equipped summons to the crests that are coming out with this. All of it will be told in this video. But real quick, one thing I want to say before we get started is, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy my content, this may be the first time you're seeing it, maybe the first time you get into the Grand Summoners, maybe the first time that you ever saw, what even am I? A gacha YouTuber. There we go. If that's the case, then I would like to propose a deal. And that deal is, if you subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. You'd have my love endlessly for the rest of the time, and you would help me get closer to 30,000 subscribers, which is currently a goal that we are trying to get, and we're very close. We're at 29.1k at the current time you're recording this video, so if we can get to 30k before the end of September, I would greatly appreciate it. Enough of all that. Let's talk about the culture side of the game, the actual gameplay, the equips, the event, all that type of stuff. And we're not just talking about units, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. The Shaman King crossover will be broken down into two parts. And from my understanding, the only thing that we get with part 1 and part 2 is, for one, the Shaman King units. So for example, in part 1, we'll be getting Yo, and we'll be getting, oh fuck, what's her name? Anna. And then part 2 will be Hao and the boy Tao Rin. Not only do we get just those units in part 1 and part 2, we'll also be getting an event that is tied to part 1 and part 2 specifically. And each of those events will offer something new in terms of the equipment that they drop. In part 1 of Shaman King, you will be able to obtain an equip called Yo's Necklace EV. Yo's Necklace EV is a mastercraft equip, which you may be like, what does that mean? And well, it allows you to get different abilities upon you actually crafting the item. Yo's Mastercraft EV, you'll be able to obtain this by farming the event, which this item is 6,000% fire damage magic. You increase skill CT speed by 100% for 10 seconds, and you increase art gauge by 50, first time only, unfortunately. But its ability is curse time reduction and curse evasion rate 10% up. But if you are able to craft the Yo necklace, from what it says here, you will be able to get one of these random abilities also on it. But the abilities here, if you want to know what's like solid, Water Killer level 2 is definitely okay. Attack Up level 2 is definitely fire. And for the last one, that's pretty much it. Just one of those and you should be fine. We'll be getting a different equip in Shaman King Part 2, which will be this bad boy right here. I know you can't read it, unless you can actually read Japanese, then congratulations. That's actually pretty impressive. But this thing's going to be dealing 10,000% dark damage physical. For 8 seconds, you increase your own physical damage by 30%. And then the passive is, when the enemy is broken, increase damage by 10%. Now, another thing that will be coming in this crossover for the event specifically will be the event Crest. And each of the events actually offer a different set of crests, which makes my job just a little bit harder. So part 1 of the event will drop these crests that you see right here. You have Conviction, which is able to apply defense 8% up. You have Friendship, which is art gauge 15 up when quest starts, HP recovery amount 8% up. Demon, which is physical damage 8% up. Shikigami, which is magic damage 8% up. And Legendary Lift, accuracy 8% up and crit rate 5% up. If you're brand new to the game and you have no idea what crests are, pretty much if you do part 1 and you're able to equip one of them to your units. All of these crests, though, I'm going to be honest, aren't really too great at all. So I don't see a lot of people actually trying to hardcore grind these. Unfortunately, I think Tensura may have beat Shaman King in terms of what crest that they actually get from the event. And then in part 2 of Shaman King, you'll be getting another set of crest, which these set of crest will be able to increase earth and light resistance by 5%, increase damage resistance by 7%, and skill CT recovery when near death. At the start of the crest, you increase arts by 10. If the unit is leader, increase XP gain by 10%, increase dark damage by 10%, and increase dark resistance by 3%. And the last one is increase attack by 400 and HP by 300. Now that is actually it for everything to do with the event. Now it's time to talk about the big boy stuff, the gacha equip summons. In order to obtain these, you will have to go through the RNG factor, rolling the gacha, and maybe lucking out on getting one of these equips if you find one of them interesting, which some of these are actually pretty fuego. So let's start from the top and just go down. I don't think we get any more Shaman King equips, by the way. I'm pretty sure this is the entirety of it for the entire crossover. So if you find any of these like noteworthy or anything, you can go ahead and summon on it because I'm pretty sure we don't get any new ones whenever part 2 comes out. The first one is going to be the 5-star physical. This is a 13,000% fire damage physical. You reduce the enemy's physical resistance by 20% for 12 seconds, and if the user is a fire unit, you increase your art gauge by 80. Next is 5-star magic, which is Anna's Spirit Beats, 6,500% earth damage magic. Reduce the enemy's magic resistance and evasion rate by 30% for 10 seconds. Next is going to be the 5-star defense, which is Anna's Bandana. You reduce all allies' fire damage taken by 25% and auto recovery all allies' HP by 100 for 20 seconds. Next is going to be the 5-star support, which is Hal's Earrings. Autofills all allies' art gauge by 2 and increase god units damage by 30% for 20 seconds. And the last but not least is going to be the 4-star support, which is Yo's Headphones. Autofills a target's art gauge by 2 and increase all statuses by 20% for 15 seconds. Out of all these equips, the ones that I think are going to be actually pretty OP is going to be the 5-star physical. This is really good, even though it has such a long CT for fire nukers and stuff like that, because as long as you're a fire unit, you get 80 art gauge on top of it, and you're able to reduce the enemy's physical resistance by 20%. And a Spirit Beats actually isn't bad with a 30% magic resist down, but I will say that if you want a 30% magic resist down, you don't care about the evasion, Juno's true weapon is a thing in the game. Anna's Bandana could definitely prove useful in Ganon and stuff like that, but I feel like we already have equips in the game that you can get, so a lot of people may just skip out on this, but if you don't have a good fire resist equip, then this is actually pretty solid. And ladies and gentlemen, that is actually it for the Shaman King crossover. That is everything that will be coming to Shaman King, including the equipments, the gacha equips, the events, the crest, everything that is coming out has been talked about in this video. I think the only thing we didn't talk about is login bonuses, but those are to be expected. Tell me down below if you're excited or if you're going to be farming the event or trying to get anything from this crossover, at least gacha equip wise, or if you have any goals in mind for this crossover. Me personally, I think I'm just going to farm the shop, buy the limit break stones and everything. I don't think this crossover appeals to me too much on the equip side. The only equipment that I'm kind of interested in is the 5-star physical. Apart from that, I think I'm going to be sleeping on mostly everything else because I think the units are definitely the prize of this crossover. By the way, if you haven't seen the units yet, like I said in the beginning of the video, make sure to go check out this video, talk about the units in depth on that, and would definitely help you out. But that's going to be it for this one, man. Thank you all for coming out. Tomorrow, at the time you're recording this video, the Should You Summon should be dropping for Shaman King, so stick around to the channel for that. And last but not least, you guys already know, don't forget to drink water.